As much as I'm not a fan of initials and the album release number being the title of a record, it'd be a missed opportunity for Liam Payne. LP, Liam Payne, LP1, it kind of works. Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we are discussing the new Liam Payne record. It's his debut, LP1. Even with numerous delays to LP1, it didn't stop Liam from releasing 6 singles on this album 1 to 2 years in advance. Of course, Liam dropped his debut solo EP to appease his fans in August 2018, which also came out alongside a social media announcement offering a justification for the extended wait on this debut full-length record. Essentially, Liam was determined to release a debut album that would best represent him. In that statement, it makes me scratch my head even more after hearing this album in its entirety, because what represents Liam versus what is popular in the mainstream, those are two very different things. On LP1, Liam co-writes 8 songs, not even half of it, and he doesn't have outright songwriting credits on any of these. Instead, Liam outsources a lot of his work to premier pop songwriters like Zedd, Ed Sheeran, Charlie Puth, and Watt. And a lot of these songwriters, including Liam himself, they couldn't afford to write a single song for him to perform to the best of his ability or to live up to his potential. For the most part, Liam struggles on this album to define himself as he tries out songs that are better suited for other artists, in my opinion. For example, Strip That Down, which was a single that dropped back in 2017. This was co-written by Ed Sheeran and Shaggy. It sounds like it was written for Justin Timberlake, and it's stuck in the past too, as it embarks on this 2008 convention of crowd shouts of, "Hey, hey, Tell Your Friends" is another song on LP1 that sees another collaboration with a songwriter that I've been fond of in the past, Lucky Day. However, this song doesn't go over too well. There's also another track on here, Bedroom Floor, which was written by Charlie Puth, not one of his greatest efforts. And I guess the saddest part about LP1 is that Liam, like the rest of One Direction, has great vocals. He has the musical talent from what I've seen a part of that group, but he's certainly thwarting it to the best of his ability, so much so that it makes me question how he had nothing interesting to say on this album for almost an entire hour. While the other members of One Direction continue to push and challenge themselves to create a unique persona and genuine sound, Liam is left in the dust. He's stuck, not knowing where to go. He's proving that he's easily the least interesting One Direction member ever since their indefinite hiatus. For me, LP1's greatest roadblock as an album is how it doesn't know what it wants to be. It's very confused. It's all over the place with its styles and genres, while still remaining pretty one-dimensional at the same time. One moment, Liam is telling everyone about the money he's raking in on the single Stack It Up, which is kind of like a commercial sellout, and it's very similar to the piano intro on Camila Cabello's Havana. The next moment, Liam is channeling a sensual and horrible Shakira-inspired song that is complete with a ridiculously horrible pun of hips lying unless they're lying with him. Or worse yet, Liam is trying to appeal to the EDM community with little to no flavor, offering stale and distilled tropes of reggaetron, dancehall, and tropical house. Now, when LP1 isn't making me want to bang my head against the wall, it comes through with lackluster and some boring-ass features. Between a Boogie with the Hoodie's bland verse on Stack It Up, Lennon Stella's wasted potential on Polaroid, and Cheat Codes' weak and underwhelming beat drop on Live Forever, Liam Payne doesn't even challenge his collaborators to be creative. Instead, he restricts them to rigid and formulaic songs and song structures that alter between either painfully forgettable R&B or pop that chases every trend over the past 10 years. And I guess while Liam is caught up chasing all these trends, it's easy to forget how vanilla and plain these songs really are, but behind the plain songwriting, we do have some questionable lyrics along the way too. Some messages that are a little toxic, a little unhealthy. Take the song Remember, which ironically is a forgettable song. It's about loving someone so much that you hate them. I have an issue with that. I don't see how that is possible, because even if someone isn't a continual source of happiness for you, like, shouldn't you be happy that they were in your life for that moment of time when they did provide you happiness. Sure, you're allowed to be sad and miss them, but like that's just not how I see it, and I just think it's way better to have loved and lost than not to have loved at all. Another song on here, Heartbeat Break, is one that makes me scratch my head even more. It's pretty immature. It's like about coming from the space where you're not understanding that love comes with a death sentence, but life comes with a death sentence too. So I don't get why it's such a big revelation on here that hearts will break because life ends too. Basically, with every relationship, you should be going in realizing that, yeah, there is a potential to end that relationship. It's not always going to last. There's a certain consequence or risk that you're going in with, and you just have to be aware of that. I hate to break it to you, but there's no fairy tale Disney ending to relationships. And then we arrive to the song Both Ways, which Liam is getting absolutely obliterated by the media right now because it's controversial. It's about sexually fetishizing bisexuals. It's over top of this moody R&B instrumental. It sounds like it could have been off of like a Zayn release. But yeah, the lyrics on there are pretty cringy, pretty questionable, and I totally get why people would be bashing on Liam for this. I personally don't want to get too caught up with what you're allowed to put on record, because an artist should be free to a point to express themselves because you're being creative, and then you let people kind of judge that art after it's been put out. I don't want to dwell on that too much, like I said, because there are a lot more issues going on than just this song. So I guess returning to my previous point about this album being boring with its features, there are also a handful of cuts on this album that are boring musically. Rude Hours is a track on here that is moody, R&B styled, and we have this stop and start instrumental on it. It's very underwritten with its bridge before we head back into this half-assed chorus. The song just feels like it was put together with scraps of meat off the factory floor. Get Low is a cut on here that is uninspired with its club beats, and the vocal performance is, I've heard it before. I just feel like Liam, on this album, he was never challenged to write or perform something that is captivating. One of his tracks that he pens on here, Say It All, is bland with its boring piano chords with no energy whatsoever. He has annoying vocal refrains of yeah, 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 yeah. And Liam, he doesn't sound interested with what he is saying, and it doesn't really matter what he's saying because 9 times out of 10, he's either bragging about something that I don't care about, or on that 10th time around, I guess he's complaining about love, which I don't really empathize with his viewpoint or lyrics. To add insult to injury, out of nowhere, Liam shoehorns in a Christmas song to end this LP with a very misconstrued message too. Somehow he thinks if you can make it through one Christmas, you can be with your lover forever. I don't understand that, and the song is just so bad. So yeah, LP1 is 17 songs, 55 minutes in length, yet I don't think Liam comes through with a solid highlight at any point. It was a frustrating listen for me. It challenged my patience on so many different levels. First of all, it's sleepy as hell. It's one-dimensional. Liam fails to distinguish himself against his contemporaries. He forgets to have fun. I guess the closest he came to that was on the song Familiar, but even then, it's not a good song. And on top of that, this album puts no effort or thought into its track listing and how things are ordered, because this thing sounds like a random-ass playlist that you could just throw on shuffle and you get the same amount of enjoyment out of it, which is 0. The 50 Shades song on here absolutely proves that. I can go on and on about the negatives with this record. The collaborations sound forced and contrived, but above all else, LP1 is an artistic statement that doesn't show any originality. It doesn't offer any personal insight to Liam as an artist or a human being for that matter, and it doesn't give me any reason to listen to this or want to come back to it at all. So I'm feeling a 0 out of 10 on this record. It's my lowest score yet. I didn't think that we'd ever reach the basement of a 0 to 10 scale, but yeah, Liam is taking the cake on that one. This is the worst album I've heard in quite some time. Yeah, so sound off down below in the comments. Let me know if you do get some enjoyment out of this. Know that this is just my opinion. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a rockin' day. And I'm just like, what the hell? What is that?